As a thought leader in the OTA space, Travelport has taken a look at what we believe some of the trends are leading into 2020. We can't be looking back as online travel agencies. We need to be looking forward and looking at the trends that are going to be driving our strategy as we move into 2020. As we looked at those trends, we've seen some that are just coming up recently, like the environmental traveler. For the first time, we've got 42% of customers that are taking environmental issues into consideration when booking their travel. Product diversity is another one. Looking at branded fares, virtual interlining, a very new way for people to be contemplating the way that they're going to travel. Then we've got chatbots. And while chatbots have been around for the last few years, the implementation of chatbots and combining that with AI is moving it to an entire new level. And in order to drive down customer service costs, the implementation of these chatbots and microservices are going to be critical to keep costs where they need to be competitive in 2020. And that's important because when you think about the big three, Booking Holdings, Expedia, Trip.com, becoming increasingly dominant in the global online travel agency space. Competing with them will be very difficult in 2020 because they have the advantage of scale, but they're also starting to implement super apps, in particular in the APAC region. Bringing an entire marketplace to a single app is easier for a large player to do, but when you're a tier 2 OTA, competing in that space is very difficult. It's going to be important to implement things like messaging in order to compete with those big three. And then of course there's customer acquisition. Many OTAs used to be dependent on Google to get search results driving to the online travel agency. But with Google now moving heavily into the travel space and the above the fold results being focused on the Google products, it's more difficult to be dependent on Google as a free acquisition for customers. The cost of meta search, social media are all going to be important areas for OTAs to focus on in 2020.